Hey, welcome to the channel. We hope that you enjoy today's stories and check out the chapters on the video to see all the stories for today. But before we get into this video, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to get notified when we release a new video. So let's get into the video.
Heard a little girl crying for help near our pond. So, I posted something about some howling at night and early morning not too long ago, and I also said that I had been thinking about skinwalkers and I had also been reading about them. Well, tonight I was outside with my cousin helping him set up his new basketball hoop. We got finished with it and he was shooting some hoops while I was watching, and it was about dusk. Then he asks me if I want to go inside and I say sure, and then all of a sudden, I hear,
Help me, please help me. Someone please, help.
It sounded like a little girl crying for help near our pond. I was shaking and my cousin had already gone inside the door but was waiting for me. At this point, I'm shaking because it's almost like I knew what it was as soon as I heard it. My cousin come back out and I no longer heard it. Then I'm shaking my way back inside to tell my fiancée, and she looks out the bathroom window because it's looking out towards the pond and she sees a little girl out there. Then she tells me to come to look. Not even 10 seconds later and there's nothing there. What the hell is happening? First, it was knocking and howling. We're having actual experiences. I'm seriously terrified. Update, I checked for any sign of an actual little girl and there is no sign anyone had been down there, so all of you who say stupidish because I didn't go down there and help a little girl can stop. It wasn't a real little girl and I know it wasn't. I know who lives around this area and I know what happens around here. It's not just some distressed kid. I promise. I've been reading up on skinwalkers and also thinking about them. I'm about 60% native and also just had a child. Lots of negative things are going on in the family right now. It's chaotic and it's feeding off of these things. This wasn't a little girl that was kidnapped or anything like that. My fiancé saw her out by the pond on the grass. She couldn't have fallen in 10 seconds and there'd be no sign. There was no splashing in the water, no ripples, and also when I checked it this morning there were no footprints or hair or shoes or clothes or anything. It was muddy enough to see if someone had been there last night. I'm going to start catching all this on camera so all the people who are annoying and calling me names will see what I mean.
What we believe was our daughter's paranormal moment as a toddler. From the time our daughter was just about a year to just over 2 years old, we'd periodically get woken up to the sounds of her giggling to flat-out cackling and squealing in excitement. When either of us would get up to see what the fuss was about, she'd be standing or sitting at any of the 3 sides of her crib looking up. One day I was holding her and walking from each framed photo of family members. I'd point to those in the pics and say, "Who's that?" I pointed to her mom, myself, my mom, my mill, my sister, my brother, and his wife. Each time she'd say her word for that person. There was a collage with a number of people, memories of the past my wife and I made and framed. There were family and friends who were no longer with us / passed on, including my father who'd passed away a decade before our daughter was born. I started pointing at people and if she didn't know them, she'd look at me real fast and hold the palms of her hands up like I don't know. So, I'd point to the person again and say their name. She'd do her best to repeat it. In the collage was a pic of my late father and me. I pointed to me. She said "Dada." I pointed to my father and she got all excited. She started bending her knees and my arms raising up and down, giggling with the biggest smile. She raised her arms up in the air and looked at the ceiling and said loudly,
"Papa. Papa. Papa, 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 Papa.
She kept giggling and saying,
Papa."
I had chills and my wife was looking at us with wide eyes. I started to tear up. For one, no one had ever shown her a photo of my father. We didn't have one hanging up in the rooms where she frequented. No reason. We just didn't have very many big photos of him. For two, she'd never said the word before. Not ever. Lastly, my brother lives halfway across the country and at that time he had only seen my daughter once. He has one daughter, but she was in college when we visited him, so she'd never met our daughter. But my niece spent a lot of her early life around my late father before my brother relocated. Papa was what my niece called my father, and he loved being called Papa. Her reaction had my wife and me thinking and admittedly hoping that maybe, just maybe, all those times we had woken up to our daughter giggling and laughing and squealing in delight, it was my late father paying her a visit. Edit, this happened over 20 years ago. Our daughter is now 22 years old. If you're enjoying today's video, smash that like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more videos and interesting stories. Now let's get back to the stories of our lives.
For those of you seeking a paranormal experience, here is one everyone can try. No, this doesn't involve Ouija boards or rituals. All you need to do is go into a thrift store and pay attention. It seems every thrift store I go in has one spot, and if you walk over it, or stand there, you get instantly lightheaded and dizzy like the floor is about to drop out. But if you step away from that spot, the feeling immediately goes away. I used to think it was just me, but the last time I was shopping with my best friend and it happened, I called her over like I wanted to show her something and had her stand where I had been. She got a weird look on her face like she wasn't feeling well, and I asked if she felt dizzy or lightheaded. She said yes and commented that maybe she needed to eat. I had her move off the spot and she felt better. That's when I told her my theory. I have felt this sensation in other places, but I think it's common in thrift stores because there are so many old items that come and go. One of them is bound to have destructive energy that either tore a hole in the veil between our world and the next or a hole between dimensions, depending on what you believe. Has anyone reading this experienced something similar? Also, if any of you try it, please share your experiences.
Demon versions of ourselves. So, when I was younger, 9 or 10, I had my friend over and we stayed at my grandmother's house for the night because my parents were busy. We chilled out and played video games for most of the day, but when it got late, we decided to go to sleep. When I was younger, I never closed the door because I was scared something would happen, and if I screamed, my parents wouldn't hear me. We both fell asleep in my bed. I was about 2 or 3 feet away from him in bed. I woke up in the middle of the night and heard something outside my door. I decided to sit up and look out my door. What I saw still gives me chills to this day. I saw what looked like a demonic version of my grandmother on her hands and knees outside my door. It noticed me and looked me in my eyes, and its eyes looked demonic. It had long hair down to its chest. I immediately lay her back down and tried to wake my friend up, but he wouldn't wake up. I sat up and it was gone. I didn't look around the room to see if it came in. I just laid back down and closed my eyes and prayed it was gone until I fell asleep. The next morning, I told my grandmother what I saw, and she said it may have been her because she dropped her glasses. The only reason I don't believe that is that she had short hair down to her neck, and it had hair to its chest and different eyes, and it wasn't wearing the same clothes as her, and the time she said she dropped her glasses just didn't seem like the same time I woke up. I still get chills when I think back to that day. This makes me believe we all have a demonic version of ourselves, a demon that looks just like us. Has anyone else had any similar experiences?
Slowly increasing paranormal activity. For the past 6 months, I've suspected that I was sharing a room with a ghost. At first, I chalked it up to my imagination. Then the shadow person sightings started. My bedroom has a bathroom. I keep the door close to it because there is a light in the restroom that comes on at night. It's dim unless your night eyes are active. It was cold in the bathroom one night, so I had the door open so the heat in my bedroom would warm it up. I'm reading a book when I saw movement in the corner of my eye. The light on my nightstand was on, so the light in the bathroom wasn't active, so I chalked it up to the light flickering. A week later, it's another cold night and I have the bathroom door open. All the lights are out, so the dim light inside the bathroom is on. The only other light source is my tablet. I spot something dark moving at the very edge of the bathroom doorframe, and then the normal bathroom light flicks on for a second. The normal light is linked to a sort of fan that buzzes loudly in the ceiling. I hear it pop on for a very short moment. The light flickers. Now things are being moved around my room. I woke up from a deep sleep to find the bathroom door open, the mini fridge open, or the microwave door open. I've felt watched on one occasion. Occasionally, when I do use the restroom, I'll notice the shower curtain is closed, even though I only close it while taking a shower. When I'm not using the shower, the curtain stays open. It hasn't shown any hostility to me, it seems to just want me to know it's there. Lately, it's taken up a habit of hiding my phone or wallet. I'll look everywhere for them only to find it in a spot I checked several times. Should I try to communicate with it?
If you've enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and check out more videos from the channel.